The Windward Plains tremble. A tracker's boot sinks into dust then freezes. Guild notes scroll asterisk Rey Dau asterisk in jagged script, ink bleeding through panic, storm thundering hooves echo, not a dragon, not a myth. The apex of these forbidden wilds stirs, cracking its ink fangs panic us then trackers freezes, not a dragon vanishes. What hunts here defies the sky's own wrath. Rey Dau does not merely hunt, it dictates. Prey evolve to evade its storm, predators learn to fear its shadow. The guild records adapts its ledger once banned dragons outright. Now elder scales force a reckoning. Taxonomy falters where ancient bloodline thrives. This is no beast to be culled. Its reign exposes the hollow logic of human order. The Windward Plains breathe as it wills. The guild's charts crumble. Apex is not a title but a truth written in thunder, in the silence between heartbeats. What survives here survives by its grace. The Windward Plains mark the threshold of the forbidden lands, first territory, first test. A biome thrice blessed or cursed be Rey Dau, Dashiguma, and the hollow winds that carve their dominion. Rey Dau is no dragon. It is a storm given teeth, a thunderclap that hunts. Guilds who mapped this expanse left no names, only scorched sigils where their ink bled into sand. Dashiguma skulks in the shadow of its reign, a scavenger that dares not dream of parity. The plains breathe in tempests. They exhale death. To call Rey Dau apex is to misunderstand hierarchy. It is law. The air here carries the weight of unspoken command, every gust a herald, every shadow a warrant. What survives here does so by balancing on the edge of its gaze. What bends does not break. What flees does not look back. The MH Wilds expedition found no rival in this realm. Only a question: how does a creature so vast remain unseen until it is too late? Rey Dau, MH Wild's apex of the Windward Plains, the storm-thundering predator. Guild logs describe the strike first, a jagged scar split through stone as if the sky itself had clawed downward. Then the ground shudders, a soundless quake, the air grows heavy, hunters report the same sequence. Lightning forks where Rey Dau moves. Not to strike but to asterisk reveal asterisk, a flash exposing fractured earth and the beast's shadow, vast and wingless, cutting the horizon. What follows is no roar, a vibration. A subsonic weight that presses into bone, drowning the plain's wind, the cries of prey, even thought itself. The windward silence is not empty, it is asterisk occupied asterisk. Field notes call it the breath before the storm, but this is no weather. This is a creature's signal, a predator announcing its dominion. The hunt's protocols cite this behavior as proof. Rey Dau is not myth. It is management, a keystone force, too immense to kill, only to track, to evade, to respect. Yet the guild's trembling script omits one truth. The rumble does not end with the strike, it lingers, a chord, a warning. And beneath that chord some hunters swear they hear something else, a slower beat, deeper. As if the plains themselves were holding their breath. The Wyverian codices buried beneath windward dust speak of a covenant, not with gods, not with kings, but with a force that moved in thunder and coiled in lightning, Rey Dau. The texts call it asterisk storm's anvil asterisk, a creature bound to the breath of the sky, its roar a harbinger of tempests. These are not the ramblings of a vanished peal. The rediscovered archives of Wyveria, now unearthed in MH Wilds, show carvings of Rey Dau not as predator, but as sentinel. Its claws trace patterns in the stone, matching the ridges of the Windward Plains, a design, a purpose. The Wyverians chronicled its behavior with clinical precision. They noted how Rey Dau's hunts align with atmospheric shifts, how its presence stabilizes the stormfronts that once devoured entire valleys. To kill it, they warned, would unchain the sky's fury, yet here it thrives, not as relic but as architect. The plains do not merely host it, they asterisk respond asterisk to it, the grasses bow in its wake. The air hums with a charge no storm could replicate. What adaptive intelligence weathers centuries of silence? What symbiosis survives the collapse of empires? The Wyverians vanished, but their chronicles remain etched into the very geology of the plains. The same ridges that mirror Rey Dau's claws now cradle the ruins of their cities. Were these structures built to commune? To contain or to asterisk honor asterisk, the apex of the Windward Plains is no accident. it is inheritance. The storm does not strike, here it dwells And in the pauses between thunder, between the hunter's heartbeat and the land's held breath, there lingers a question. If Rey Dau is guardian, then who, or what, is it guarding against? The frontier logs speak in hushed reverence of a sky that bled iron and howled with hunger. Schrade's last chroniclers etched their terror into brittle parchment storms that did not pass, but marched trailing flocks of shattered spires and the acrid stench of ozone. Rey Dau's thunder was no mere weather, it was a reckoning. When the kingdom's banners fell to dust, the wilds inhaled the collapse like a held breath released. The guild's old charts, inked in the smug certainty of colonizers, now curl at the edges with guilt. They came to tame the New World's teeth, only to find their knives blunted against a predator that reshaped continents. The writers' tales, quieter but no less haunted, speak of a horizon that breathes asterisk. Captain Vera's journal, recovered from a downed skyrail, describes a beast whose shadow could outpace the sun. Its roar is a canyon splitting, she wrote, and where it steps, the grass turns to glass. Modern expeditions confirm this, the Windward Plains' cracked soil, still scarred by ancient lightning strikes. The air hums with static as if the land itself remembers the violence. Rey Dau does not hunt, it orchestrates asterisk. The guild's doctrine now wavers between fear and fascination. Once they sought to cage the unknown. Now they debate whether to let Rey Dau's storms rage unchecked at a price for the New World's balance. The Schrade collapse is not a footnote, it is a warning. And yet the question lingers, if this Leviathan guards a secret, what force does it bar the door against? The wind carries no answer, only the taste of iron. Only the echo of a kingdom that dared to stand in the path of a god. The guild's quills bleed ink without truth. Migration events arrive like clockwork. Siege class, always see it. Rey Dau's storm swell as if summoned, not chaos. Calculation, the bestiary names it apex, but apex does not learn asterisk. Era-specific ecologies govern the wilds, prey flee fire, ice, rot constants. Rey Dau defies constants, its thunder cracks patterns The Windward Plains do not shelter gods. Yet something bends the air, something shifts in the howl, a predator that wields the storm as weapon. Or a storm that wears a predator, the records falter here. Commission logs detail villages erased, but never the why . No sign of horde, no trace of hunger. Only the silence after the rain, when the earth reeks of ozone and old blood. What migrates, if not a beast? The guild carves explanations in stone, Rey Dau carves its own. And the windward skies wait always for the next question the wind will not answer. 170 words. Rey Dau storms are not mere chaos, these sculpt the Windward Plains. Each thunderclap fractures the soil, each gust scatters seeds. The plains breathe in its shadow, the guild does not hunt for glory. Their pursuit is calculus. A dragon's death feeds the food chain, its remains a foundation for decay's arithmetic. Elder dragons linger at the edge of classification. Their biology defies the bestiary's grids. Rey Dau, unclassified, unclaimed, thrives in this gap. Apex is a role, not a title. Below it, the ecosystem balances on the edge of a fang. The guild's spears are not weapons but scales on a larger blade. They trim the overgrowth, prevent the collapse. Yet every strike leaves a scar. The Windward Plains do not forgive, but they adapt. As they have since the first hunter drew blood, balance is not a line, it is a wound learning to heal. Rey Dau's storms continue, the plains endure, and the guild, flawed but necessary, stands between collapse and chaos. 207 words. The storms are not chaos, they are a cipher. Each crack of thunder spells defiance against the guild's old lost laws that balance, but do not bend. Hunters once saw monsters as problems to solve. Rey Dau sees them as kin. Its storms are a dialect of dominance, a demand, adapt or perish. The guild's ledgers, filled with permits and quotas, now tremble against this truth. Regulation cannot cage a force that speaks in lightning. Feline and palico companions, bred for service, mirror the ethics the guild claims to uphold. Yet here in the Windward Plains, their loyalty is tested. A hunter's palico may cower at a storm's edge, yet Rey Dau's storms draw something stranger, a reverence. The creature's presence forces a question: what is mastery if not understanding? The guild's code, built on control, now faces a predator that wields the wild as weapon and wisdom. Hunters learn this lesson bloodily. Armor clinks with new etchings not of runes, but of respect. Blades once meant to end become tools to listen. Rey Dau storms teach that survival is not conquest, it is dialogue. The guild, flawed but necessary, must choose, cling to its ledgers, or let the storms rewrite its purpose. The plains hold their breath, a hunter's resolve hardens. The storm thunderer does not seek death, it seeks proof. Proof that the guild can evolve beyond its own shadow, that hunters can be more than butchers. That balance is not a line to be drawn but a dance to be learned. The wind howls, a challenge, a chance. The guild's answer will shape the next age of the wilds. Beneath the storm's wrath, the Windward Plains guard a pact unspoken. Rey Dau hunts, but who tames the hunt? The Dashaguma's silence holds the biome's truth where predator and land breathe as one. What price does the wind demand for such a bond? The storm thunders, but the earth remembers every shadow that crawls beneath it. Storms carve, storms birth. What if Rey Dau's thunder does both? The Windward Plains do not yield secrets easily. Wyverians etch their chronicles in bone and blood, yet the apex's truth eludes them. Migration event sieges, they call them repeat like a hymn's broken verse. But what if the storm is not the end? What if it is the egg? The guild hunts shadows, but the wilds whisper of a cycle older than their blades.